1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Welcome along to the welcome. Quite loud.
I need to turn it down. I can hear it here.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Oh, it's very delayed. Yeah, I can hear myself speaking to me. This is the... Need to check this matches the...
Yeah.
Right.
To be fair, we can see these boys here.
I'll go back over there.
Okay. I'll just describe what's going on. Okay, there's 3 lads down there. One ball just looking up towards the top of the stand that we're situated in. One pointing towards the goal mouth and saying that's where I'm going to find the back of the net later on this afternoon here at the Godford Stadium. Are we talking? It's delayed by about 20 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah, alright, is that meant to? So, yeah, but it
Matches what was going on. Okay, that's perfect. And the Wi-Fi seems fine, doesn't it?
I'll keep it on during the game.
That's okay. And the Rovers TV's showing up in the bottom right corner, top right corner.
Yeah.
So you just need to put that thumbnail over the top, really, don't you? Oh no, it's that me that has to do that. I think just leave it as it is.
I'll just...
met nummer 1 Gonzalo Gretas. Nummer 2 Brian Pereira. Met nummer 3 Philippe Sander. Nummer 9 Charon Jerry. Nummer 11 Bashar Eunau. Met 19 Kento Shiogai. Nummer 23 Kodai Sano. Met 24 Kelvin Verdonk. Nummer 25 Sammy Owaisa. Nummer 30 Brian Linsen. En met 31 Dirk Proper. Wissels van vanmiddag
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome along to Gotha Stadium. Rovers going Dutch for the final fixture of pre-season and looking to continue their 100% winning record so far this summer. It's the last chance for Valérien Ismaël to really get a good look of his players ahead of next week's big kick-off against West Bromwich Albion at the Hawthorns in game number 1 of 46 in the Sky Bet Championship campaign. One final test and then the real stuff begins in a week's time. We will be gearing up at the Hawthorns, preparing to kick off the new season. All the preparation, all the work that goes into the pre-season fixture list and the schedule, and everything goes out the window after full time in this one. Rovers will be hopeful of coming through this game injury free, but also want to take confidence into that trip to the Midlands in a week's time. The two captains down there, Lewis Travis and Jaron Cherry of NEC Nijmegen, go through the coin toss. Yeah, very shortly we will get this contest underway. Not a bad day for football. The rain has just about subsided. It was a bit of a downpour earlier on in the warm-up, but all good now here in Holland, not too far from the German border. Rovers jetting in to play this fixture, and it will be a good test, you imagine, against the Dutch outfit who finished in 8th place last term. So they will be hopeful of another good campaign ahead in what will be Dick Schroeder's first campaign in charge. We need a ball first of all to get this game underway, and then we'll just go through the two teams for you. It will be Rovers who get this contest underway with Yuki Ohashi, the man ready to kick off game number 5 of pre-season. Referee today just checking with the two goalkeepers that they're good to go. In fact, he's just asked the NEC Nijmegen goalkeeper just to kick one of the spare balls off the pitch. Quite unique colours that the home side are wearing out there, their home strip, both sides in their home kits for this afternoon's game. And the game gets underway here in Holland with Rovers in that famous blue and white half shirt, white shorts and blue socks, kicking from left to right as you see it. Nijmegen in green and red home shirts with the black sleeves. In here straight away, Rovers getting on the attack, and Ohashi tries to play it through towards Hedges, who has to just skip over the dive of goalkeeper Kretaz, who only recently joined the Dutch outfit. But that would have been a real lively start for Rovers. Wasn't to be inside the opening minute here in the Dutch town. Here come Nijmegen on the attack with Onal, and it's going to break quite nicely. In fact, the referee's going to bring it back, claim the advantage wasn't there. We will go through the Rovers side. It's almost a tried and tested outfit at the moment that we've seen a lot of in pre-season. Balazs Top begins in goal. Back four of Christy Montgomery, Dom Hyam, Sean McLaughlin and Yuri Ribeiro. In midfield, Lewis Travis and Sondra Tronstad team up as usual, with Dion De Neve, Ryan Hedges on each wing, and Igor Tyjon just behind Yuki Ohashi. Here come Nijmegen on the attack with Onal. Nicely played. Here's Linson, who gets to the edge of the box, then puts it back in. Here's Jaron Cherry, puts it across goal, and there is Yuri Ribeiro to clear the danger and hack it clear. But there we see Nijmegen on the attack and doing quite well actually to work that opportunity with the experienced Linson, who's leading the line today, just doing his bit on the left-hand side of the box. And Cherry, the experienced skipper for the home side, trying to pick out a teammate, and it comes from Cherry, who's got experience in the Championship with Queen's Park Rangers, a couple of seasons there in West London. Tyjon misses out, but it was a foul on the youngster from Verdonk. So for NEC, we're reliably informed it's 3-4-2-1 for them this afternoon. The Spaniard Cretas begins in goal. Back three of Pereira, Sadler and Verdonk. In the midfield area, Chiogoi and Onal will work as the wing-backs, with Proper and Sano in central midfield. Cherry and Uasa support Linson, who leads the line. A few Japanese players out there as well. Hashi, of course, for Rovers. And a couple out there for NEC in Chiogoi and Sano. Long ball forward. Onal is going to try and race onto that. Looked like it came off the left arm of Montgomery, but the flag's up against Onal, a current Turkish under-21 international, so he might be one to watch. In fact, having spoken to a couple of NEC supporters before this game, they earmarked Dirk Proper, the midfielder, a diminutive but very technical 23-year-old, over 100 games for the club. And he's wearing number 71 this afternoon. Looks like a healthy crowd in here as well. Look to our left-hand side. They stand behind Balash Tot's goal. Nobody in it. But the stand we're in is a fair amount of supporters, and across from us looks pretty full as well, as Nijmegen gear up for their new campaign in the Eredivisie, the top tier of Dutch football. So a good test for Rovers tonight. In fact, I think there has been a nice blend of friendlies so far for Rovers. They've won all four before today, so they'll be hopeful they can sign off pre-season with another victory under Valerian Ismail. You have to say, if that does happen, Ismail's men will go into the new season in good form, and we know it doesn't count obviously in pre-season, but when you think of the back end of last term as well, Rovers have been hard to beat in the last few games competitively and in friendly fixtures. Here's Dion De Neve over this free kick with his left foot. The man with his socks rolled down and 14 on the back of his shirt. He's got an opportunity to deliver. Raises his right hand, the Belgian. A few Rovers players in there. De Neve looks like he's way overhit. It is. Goes behind for a goal kick that will be spotted up by Gonzalo Cretas. He's Spaniard, albeit born in Argentina, and now finding himself in Dutch football. Like Rovers, NEC will be celebrating a big anniversary this term, 125 years for today's hosts. Of course, Rovers' 150th campaign. Here comes Hedges, who's just strayed offside. They're looking to get on the end of Tronstad's pass, just in behind Verdonk. Interesting to see what reception Tronstad receives from the home side, considering he played over 100 games for Vitesse Arnhem, which is just 12 miles from here. So a bit of a local derby. I'm chatting to Sonny earlier. He did feel there might be a few boos, but nothing yet for the Norwegian. A reminder, if you're joining us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and do everything else that you need to do on YouTube. Here comes Cherry down the right-hand side for Nijmegen. 37, but still looks like he's got that energy and intensity. The man with number 9 on his back, who spent last season in Belgian football. They come again, knocking it around. Is Cherry, 37-year-old, and now Verdonk. Nice intricate play. Lovely pass from Sano, the Japanese, over to Pereira, who races down the right-hand side, puts in a ball that missed by Tronstad. It's going to break the way of Proper, who gets a strike away. It bounces clear, only as far as number 25, Uasi, who wins a corner kick for Nijmegen. A lively start from both teams inside the opening 8 minutes here in Holland. In it comes, Cherry, a deep one, looking for a teammate. Bobbles around in there and kept alive actually by Linson, I should say. Nice collection there from Verdonk. Field to Proper, and now Cherry, who's taken up a few good positions, the Dutchman. Here is Uasa. Cherry again, always going to look on that left foot of his. Here's Linson dropping a little bit deeper to get involved with the play. Here's Pereira, the Frenchman with number 2 on his back, turns and finds Verdonk, current Indonesian international with 10 caps to his name, Dutch born. Well, he's chosen his nation and will hope to add to those caps in the coming seasons. It's a nice spread there and finds Anal on this left-hand side, who's tested out Montgomery a couple of times already. Montgomery stands up, Hedges there to help out, then gets tapped there by Proper. I said earlier he was the one who was earmarked, and when they said diminutive, they weren't wrong. Looks to be the smallest player on the pitch, but modern football height doesn't matter at all. Here is Denev, who is going to hold the width on the left-hand side. He's been a regular in pre-season for Rovers. Incidentally, Valerian Ismail remains without a few senior figures actually for today's game. But the last audition for some of these players ahead of the big kickoff in a week's time. And we'll go through the players that aren't available. We'll go through the bench as well for you, just as we assess the squad. That's the bench. Jack Barrett, Nick Mikowski, the 2 backup goalkeepers. James Edmondson, another academy graduate. Harry Pickering, Augustus Cardbo, Sidney Tavares. Good to see him back. Maktar Gay, Lorenz Malaki Matthews, Scott Wharton, Ryan Alibiosu, and Matthew Litherland. So no Campwell, no Forshaw for today's outing. No Ainsley Pears, John Buckley either, so a couple of bumps and bruises that will be assessed by Valerian for a week's time. Corner kick, which will be taken by Igor Tyjon, the 17-year-old, and it comes as a deep one and just over the head of Ahashi, and I think that's going to go all the way out for a goal kick. It is, so yeah, missed opportunity that. Rovers looking to make the most of a set piece, but nothing comes of it. All across to Calvin Verdonk. Iam takes a touch, then lays it off to Hedges. Looks to get it back from Travis, but Proper's there first, and a bit of afters there. Montgomery and Linson. It's Verdonk. Could have done okay so far in pre-season. 4 wins and a defeat in their 5 fixtures. Last time out was against PAOK of Greece and lost that one in a 5-goal thriller, 3-2. They did beat De Treffers, a Dutch side, Groningen, Kaiser Chiefs of South Africa, and a German lower division side in Lotte. So a bit of a mixed bag for the Dutchman. Ribeiro looks to slide that one through. Sadler comes away with it. And then there's a nice ball out towards Sano, who's taken up a position on the right-hand side. In comes Cherry. Sano looks to get it back, takes a touch. Linson loops it out towards Cherry. Rovers have got to get back here because Cherry's going to send it towards that back stick, and it just goes over the top. Shogai, I think, was coming in towards the back post. Couldn't get on the end of it. They've looked decent in spells, actually, and here comes Rovers on the attack with Tyjon, who looks like he might have just got tagged a touch. Pereira gets there, maybe gets a bit of fortune as well, because Ahashi just caught a little bit on his heels there. Very watchable, this. Deneva looks like he's just grabbed the back of Proper, who keeps the ball moving with Cherry. He's been involved in a lot of good play for Nijmegen. Here they come again, nice dart inside, and here's Linson infield towards Proper, who gets the shot away. It bounces off the post, and in the end it's almost slapped away by Toth, and there was McLaughlin there to help it away from danger, but the closest either side has come to opening the scoring, and it was Proper. Rovers living dangerously there with 14 on the clock. It's taken quickly, this corner kick. Here's Cherry, who's going to try and send it in with his right foot this time. It's blocked by Montgomery. It's going to be collected by Verdonk. All the way back to Kretaz. Certainly NEC have shown glimpses of their quality. Rovers maybe just adjusting to a slightly different system. But the Dutch known for their total football. Sano gets the ball taken off him and then wins it back. Here's Cherry in field. Launa hooked around the corner there, and I must have watched that carefully just to boot that clear of danger. It's been a lively start from both teams. This man Cherry as well has been involved in plenty. Here's Sano. And we saw a lot of Japanese players in the championship last term, and you do see more and more venturing to Europe. A few in Belgium, a few in Holland now. Germany, it's a offers nice opportunities for players from Japan. Mr. Never, is he going to try and swing in a low ball towards Ahashi, cut out by Verdonk. Now here is Sano just tagged there. And it will be a free kick to Nijmegen, just on that far side. Here's Pereira, takes a risk, gets it back, goes from that right side of the back three to the left now. Verdonk goes all the way back to Kretaz. Said signed in the summer, having worked with Dick Schroeder last term at Castellon. There's the link there. Here's Linson, nice layoff, and there's a ball there from Verdonk that was a adventurous one, I think. Expecting Linson at 34 to latch on to the end of that one. Maybe a bit of a tough ask for the veteran Dutchman. There's Toth in all purple. He'll be growing in confidence with every game, as well as earning his first cap for Hungary in the summer. He'll be hoping it's the first of many. Especially when you think of Peter Galaxy, the number one for a good number of years, just coming into the latter stages of his career, the former Liverpool goalkeeper. RB Leipzig as well, long-serving goalkeeper there. Here is Toth, who's just going to have to scamper a little bit to get there and thump it towards Ahashi, who nods it back into Rovers half, but NEC get it back. Ahashi then takes it off his countryman, Sano, but then opts to try and loop it over Kretaz. That was always going to be adventurous. And ultimately wide of the target. Neither goalkeeper tested too much, but that opportunity a few minutes ago for the host that hit the post, bounced back, and Top might have got a good hand to it because there was a Nijmegen man ready to follow it up, and McLaughlin did the rest to hit that one clear. Here's Hyam. Hedges. He's always going to look to get it on his left. Hashi gets it back, but touch was overhit, and he rolls all the way through to the Spanish stopper, Kretaz. Quite a youthful look to this Nijmegen starting 11, actually. Apart from Cherry being 37 and Linson 34, everyone seems early 20s. Sadler's an experienced campaigner at 28, came through at Manchester City. I think it was someone that Rovers were linked with, actually, a good few years back. He's found a home here in Nijmegen. Kretaz plays it out for Donk. Slices that into the air, and Deneva tries to head it into Ahashi's path. He's going to try and swivel and then doesn't quite get the contact on that one. Yuki Ahashi puts that one wide of Kretaz's right hand post, comfortably wide in the end. Rovers haven't quite got going, haven't quite found their rhythm yet. NEC not very comfortable on the ball and have certainly shown their qualities in the early stages here, but still 0-0 as we approach the midpoint of the first half. It's a nice touch from Sano. He's got a bit of space to venture forward with his hair in a Alice band, then checks back infield, but for Donks there on the overlap. Here is Onal, 21-year-old. Now Sandler, another that's had a stint in Belgian football. Waits and waits. Ahashi closes down and he goes all the way back with Kretaz. 16 on his back. Just trying to lure Ahashi in. And then finds Sano, who's got time to take a touch, turn and go to his right hand side, and it's a bit of a loose pass, bounces around and McLaughlin touches it forward. Deneva looks to hook it over the top. Pereira gets there first. Ahashi, typical of him, battling away. Tronstad nods it forward. Cherry to Pereira, who's taken up some interesting positions, I think, at times. He's just hacked down by Ribeiro. One or two supporters to my right start paying for a yellow card, but they either don't happen in a friendly or they're saved for Lewis Travis, who I think has picked up 3 bookings so far this summer. I imagine he'll pick up a few in the Championship. Here's Kretaz. Again, wants to try and lure in a blue and white shirt. He does that with Hedges and then plays it out nicely to Verdonk. This feels 1 step forward, 2 steps back for Nijmegen. Here comes Pereira, a bit of space, maybe overhit that touch, and that allows Tyjon to get in, and now Deneva makes the run down the left, but just behind the Belgian. Travis then wins it and then loses it. Here's Sano. Vincent. Now here is the dangerous Onal. The Turk gets in field. Looks like he's grabbed back by Montgomery. A bit of a stone wall. Penalty there. The referee didn't really have any choice. He opened his arms out to Montgomery and said, well, what do you want me to do? I think he's got the decision right. It looked pretty clear. An opportunity for, I think it's going to be Jeron Cherry, the former QPR man, to give NEC Nijmegen the lead as we hit the midpoint of this first half. It's going to be Cherry up against Balash Tot. The left foot of Cherry. Sends it towards that bottom corner and finds it with a really accurate finish. The Suriname international. Top went the right way. Flew to his left-hand side, but that penalty was just too accurate. And it found the side netting. And it's the Dutch outfit that take the lead. Maybe just about deserved on the balance of play, but penalty kick, Jaron Cherry. 22 minutes on the clock. It's NEC Nijmegen 1, Rovers 0. I'm not sure about the goal music. The home fans won't care. They're 1-0 up. Rovers need to respond and probably haven't had that spell of possession that they need just to settle themselves into this game. It's been a little bit ragged at times, I would say, a little bit sloppy, but that's what pre-season's for, to get the creases out of these performances. Ahashi looks to have just strayed, and he was. The assistant on this near side agrees. And yeah, I think that penalty shout was spot on by the match official. Didn't really have a choice. And I mentioned Anal has been a tricky customer so far in this game, and he showed his trickery against Montgomery, who just had a grab at his shirt, and Bassar Anal went down. Upset Cherry to find the corner emphatically, I think it's fair to say. Here's Proper for Donk. Proper again, he just seems to be buzzing around the Nijmegen number 71. Nice flick there by Osai, he gets it back, and slid in there is Ribeiro, Portuguese, and don't mind putting a few players forward. Nijmegen, a couple of defenders. Travis has lost out now, and Sano, it's going to drop to Linson, and didn't quite connect with that one the way he would have liked. And Tot just drops on that one, and then slips again as he looks to launch that one long. I think Ashi does well to bring it down on his chest, then takes down Pereira. And Nijmegen have the ball again. I'm just wondering if the surface is causing a couple of issues. There's been a few Rovers slips. Tot a couple of times has fallen as he's booted it forward. Won 12 of their 34 games last term. 7 draws in there as well, so certainly know what they're doing in the Dutch top flight. Ready for their 5th successive campaign in the Eredivisie. Nijmegen. And a unique kit as well they've got on. Here's Shioge. Goes in field. Sandler for Donk. Linson, he's really dropped into some nice pockets. And Sano looks like he can play, the 22-year-old. Now is the man who won the penalty. Cherry back for Donk. He's got a Hashi at his back. Cherry now just in front of the dugouts. Worked it well actually. Here comes Pereira, the French defender, only 21. Sandler, so 2 of that back 3 in the Rovers half. A little flick around the corner there. You can see that since the goal, it just seems to be a little bit more craft to Nijmegen, but now it's a Hashi in a foot race with Verdonk. Can he take on the Indonesian international? Looks to find Ribeiro. It looks as if Sano is going to hope this runs out of play. Kept in by Ribeiro really well actually, but it is Nijmegen that come out with the ball, and again found a route out from that cul-de-sac with Philippe Sandler. Now Linson, who's a bit of the look of Paul Konchesky about him, the attacker for the home team. Well, it's keeping hold of it quite well, actually. Rovers are just probably putting in more work out of possession than they are in possession. They're allowing Nijmegen to have the ball. Hedges looks to get in behind, and I think Verdonk did just about enough to shake him off the ball, but you can see there's been a couple of times where Rovers have set the traps and have almost found a route in behind. It's proper. Onal through the legs of Tronstad. Not past Tyjon though. Tronstad gets it back to Hyam. Travis, Montgomery, Tronstad. Travis again, Rovers keeping hold of the ball. Montgomery again, Hedges. He loses out. Really aggressive play there from Verdonk. Gets it back from Shogi. He's only 20 as well, so maybe we'll see a couple of these players play in the Premier League at some point in their careers. Certainly look like they're very technically gifted, comfortable on the ball, quite happy having the ball under pressure. Come again with Verdonk. In fact, Sandler and Montgomery might have got a touch on that. It's kept in by Onal. He's right in the corner now and back to Proper. Is he going to send in the cross? Elects not to. Back to Verdonk. Pereira. Everyone bar Kretaz, the home goalkeeper in the Rovers half here. Rovers having to work out of possession. Sano now to Onal. Infield. Linson round the corner. Sano kept hold of his run, but he's going to break the way of Onal. McLaughlin gets a head away from that one. Linson brings it down on his chest. Sandler back to Linson. Sandler again. Is he going to go for goal? The number 3. Nice disguised ball. They're looking for Proper, who made a good run into the box. Rovers just having to suffer, it feels, these last 5 minutes or so. Nice 1 and 2 touch play from NEC Nijmegen. And these tests aren't bad tests to have either, because I'm sure there will be times in the league which he's going to try and take a shot on. Is he with that left foot? Good block in the end from Dom Hyam. Montgomery, he's now squeezed into the Rovers corner. Will be a throw in to the visitors, but there will be opportunities where, certainly games where Rovers have more of the ball than the opponent in the Championship, but there will also be times where they're going to have to dig in and show that fight and put in a lot of groundwork to maybe see games out, or when they're under the cosh have to put the bodies on the line. So it does feel as if there has been a blend of performances in pre-season against a variety of opponents. League 2 Accrington, of course. Premier League Everton, Qatar SC, Elche, who's just been promoted to La Liga, and Nijmegen today, a Eredivisie side who finished 8th last term. Bit scrappy this last minute or two. But Nijmegen the advantage, and I wouldn't say it's quite been dominance, but they've had the better of it. Here's Proper. Travis takes it off him. Hedges just a bit too far in front of Tyjon. He's going to try and hunt down Pereira, the 17-year-old, up against the 21-year-old. Pereira just held on a little bit too much. Tyjon can't quite believe that decision. Here's Sano. Pereira to that man Cherry, the scorer of that penalty. Here he comes, Cherry. Looks to try and burst into the box, sends in a right-footed cross, dealt with by Montgomery, only as far as Sandler. Here's Linson, looks to dig out an effort, and it just goes beyond Tot's left-hand post. It did look like the Hungarian had that covered, but it wasn't far away from 2-0 to Nijmegen there. Linson, he did really well, no real backlift on it, and just had to try and dig it out and curl it towards that far corner. And you see Tot scrambling, but maybe a few inches beyond the stopper's left-hand post there. Not far away, though, from the experienced forward. Brian Linson, a long-serving member of this NEC Nijmegen squad. It's Hyam. Looks to send it down the line. Hashi doesn't get there before Philip Sadler. Here is Travis. Sends a nice diagonal ball, or optimistic I should say, ball, looking for Tyjon, who's just peeled off onto that left flank momentarily. No Todd Cantwell today, we believe, because of a slight knock. Don't think it's anything too serious for the former Norwich man. Nice play again from Nijmegen, and here is Uwasa. Cuts in on that left foot and sends a strike, but leaning back, and it ends up going towards the back of that stand. Again, they've shown quality, I think. Certainly look dangerous when they go forward. Cherry in particular, O'Neill on this near side, and Uwasa himself, only 21. It's a real youthful look to this team. Here's Ribeiro. Takes a touch forward and then tries to send De Neve clear and just over here. Rovers feel as if haven't quite got going as we approach the final 10 minutes of this first period. That seems to have gone by pretty quickly, actually. Grataz, who's been a spectator for the majority of this half. One back well, though, by Montgomery. Hashi offside again. Bit of a cheap giveaway there from the Japanese international. He just slaps his hands together, the number 23, who finished as Rovers' top goal scorer last term. 10th goal of the campaign coming against Sheffield United on the final day of the season, which unfortunately wasn't enough to propel Rovers into the playoffs. De Neve wins it back well by bundling over Pereira and getting the ball away. Tyjon looks to have a shot. It's blocked by Sano. McLaughlin, he's pushing higher up now. Tronstad might have been caught, referee agrees, and it's going to be a free kick. Proper the one who went in a bit too hard on the Norwegian enforcer. In fact, it was Linson. A pair kiss and make up, and maybe a rare opportunity for Rovers to get themselves back into this contest. De Neve, his first free kick wasn't what he'd been looking for, over hit early on into this contest, but this one might be within shooting range. The way you step back here, the Belgian, looks like he fancies his chances, or is he just going to try and dink this into the box? He is going to try and do that. Hyam looks to scamper and get on the end of that one, keeps it in. Dealt with only as far as Travis. Now Ribeiro. Travis gets it back across to Montgomery. O'Neill goes to engage. Hedges looked like he might have been offside. Flag stays down. Montgomery gets it back, all the way back to Balash Chot. And now Ribeiro. Tot gets it back again, and that encourages Nijmegen to push out. Tronstad, Rovers Norwegian comfort blanket, gets there first, and Alau has to defend. Hedges sees that one come down from the sky, but Sadler gets there first, and he's proper. He really does look like he's got a bright future. This man might have a bright future as well. Igor Tyjon turns. Hedges, nice ball towards De Neve. Gets some, puts a cross in with his right foot. It bounces back off the Belgian and goes behind for a goal kick. Unfortunate, but Rovers did well there to string that move together. Hedges peeling in from that right flank, and De Neve coming across from the left side to try and get involved. Krataz hasn't been tested. Here's a Hashi, capitalising on a mistake from Uwasa. Hashi goes to ground. Referee says get back to your feet. Pereira comes out with the ball, and think Uesa made a really good run on the right-hand side. Wasn't seen by Pereira, but they've still got the ball with Linson. He goes back to Sandler, and they'll start again. Nijmegen, Sano. Now Pereira. A shove in the back there from McLaughlin. Nijmegen get it back. Here's Cherry. I've got to say, I've got the team sheet, and there wasn't too many names that I was familiar with. But certainly there's been a good few that have impressed so far in this game. Or now, he's been one of them. As this man, Sano, gets into the box, ball across, left, and there is Jaron Cherry to double his and his side's lead. Really nice move there from Nijmegen. I think it was Shiogai actually who started it down this left side, put it across. Cherry must have said, leave it for me. Linson did just that, and the 37-year-old made no mistake. Left-footed finish into that same corner that he put his first. And Rovers have work to do, no doubts about that. Not quite been at the races so far in this one. And with 39 minutes on the clock, it's now NEC Nijmegen 2, Rovers 0. As the sun just appears from behind the clouds momentarily. Rovers need to respond, because at the moment it does look as if that winning run in pre-season is going to be brought to an end here in Holland, unless there's a big fight back on the cards. We'll have to see, but it will need to be better from the visitors as the Nijmegen fans find their voice. There's Hyam, puts it forward to Hedges. He keeps that one in, and Verdonk comes across and puts that one out of play. It's McLaughlin. Nice ball to Tyjon. Again, really aggressive play by Sano. Just goes through the back of the teenager to try and win the ball. Free kick to Rovers just inside the visitors' half. Bit their moments, Nijmegen, but certainly out of possession they've done well, pushing Rovers all the way back and just struggled to really get any momentum. Valerian Ismail's men, that came off for Donk by the looks of it, but the assistant on this near side went the other way. Valerian Ismail disagrees, and I think the referee is going to have a word with the Frenchman and issue the 49-year-old with a yellow card. Probably a little bit too vociferous in his appeals against that decision. As the linesman just gives him a glare and has a few words with the Rovers boss. It's probably the frustration just coming out of Ismail following this display in the scoreline at the moment as it is. I think Lewis Travis might be having his name taken as well, actually. Or maybe not, I'm not sure. We'll have to double check that one at half time. I feel Travis may be snarling a little bit. Again, won't be the last time we say that in 2025-26. Verdonk all the way back to his goalkeeper. Sadler, he loses it. Ahashi can take advantage. He just held up a little bit. Ahashi trying to get the shot away, and Sadler's recovered well just to force the Japanese away from the goal. And in the end, it goes out of play, and they have a throw in NEC on this near side, but opportunity there for Ahashi. I'm not sure whether the ball just held up a little bit, just couldn't quite get it out of his feet to get the strike away. I'm not Not sure what Sadler was doing initially, but credit to the Dutchman, he recovered well. And now here come Nijmegen on the attack again with the impressive Sano, who sends it out towards Linson. He's going to flick it on into the path of looking for Onal, but hacked away by Hyam. She's been in a battle with Sadler all game, and it's the Dutchman who's winning that battle so far. Pereira, really good powerful run from him. Verdonk slid down towards Onal, and he's going to test out Montgomery again. Looks to send it through the legs and goes to ground a little bit easily. Onal doesn't agree with it, but gets on with the game. It's going to break the way of Proper, is it? They've still got it in the... Linson sends a strike towards goal and just wide of Toth's left-hand post once again. But he's come close twice now, Linson. You probably don't want to give him a third bite of the cherry, but again, Rovers not quite convincing defensively, and Nijmegen keeping the ball alive, and the effort from Linson just past the post, close to 3-0 for the home team. Hashi just shoulder barged off the ball there by Philip Sadler. Verdonk, Cherry dropping deep, he's on a hat-trick of course. It's a nice ball towards Sano, puts it through the legs of Denev. And Sano to Verdonk again. There's the Japanese. Now Linson. It's a nice run by Cherry. Looked like he was offside. Flag goes up on that far side. He will be sniffing a hat-trick, and he'll be desperate to be staying on and have the opportunity to get it. See what Dick Schroeder's plans are with his substitutes. It's the 6 named today, so I don't think we're going to see an influx of alterations at half-time. It's not that time in pre-season for them, to be honest. Another goal kick that the Spaniard Gonzalo Cretaz is about to spot up. Here come Nijmegen again on the right-hand side, and it's a drag back looking towards Uasa from Shiogi. Taijon in a battle. Again, Verdonk gets there first. The referee blows for half-time, and I think Rovers will be quite pleased with the half-time whistle after that. Nijmegen in command, 2-0 up, and in a real good place at the moment, the Dutch outfit. Rovers have work to do, no doubts about that in this second period. Goals from, well, 2 goals from Jaron Cherry, 1 from the spot, the other a really smart finish into the bottom corner, has Nijmegen in control. Half-time here in Holland is NEC Nijmegen 2, Rovers 0. Well, welcome back to the official Rovers YouTube channel. We're here at Rovers going Dutch with a trip to the Goffert Stadium, the home of NEC Nijmegen, and yet it's not quite gone the way Valérien Ismaël, all the team will have hoped in that first period. Rovers work to do, find themselves 2-0 down, courtesy of Jaron Cherry's brace. One from the spot, and the other one a really smart finish at the end of a flowing move to ensure that Nijmegen have the advantage. They're in full control. Total football from a lot of their players. Really easy team on the eye to watch. Rovers need to respond. Valérien Ismaël's responded by making 3 half-time alterations. Dion De Neve, Igor Tyjon and Christy Montgomery are the 3 that are sacrificed, with Augustus Cargbo, Pape Gay and Ryan Alabiosu coming on in their place. So a triple change in a bid to change the flow of this contest. So Rovers will be kicking, of course, from right to left in the blue and white halved shirts, white shorts and blue socks, with Nijmegen in their home strip, red and green kit with black sleeves, black shorts and black socks. We will go through the Rovers side very shortly. Ahashi industrious, and here goes Cargbo racing down that left hand side. He gets in behind, he's going to put the ball across, and there's Sadler to defend really well actually and block the cross from reaching Ryan Hedges. So Rovers Toth in goal, back 4 now of Alabiosu, Hyam, McLaughlin and Ribeiro. Travis and Tronstad in the midfield. Cargbo and Hedges offering the support in the wide areas, and Ahashi moving as a 10 behind Pape Gay, and Tom Hyam goes into the book early into this second period, just hauling down a Nijmegen man. So I think he joins Valérien Ismaël in having his name taken. I was told at half-time that Lewis Travis wasn't booked. So Hyam the first player to be carded. Nijmegen, I think it is as it was, and Kretaz in goal, back 3, Pereira, Sandler and Verdonk. 4 in midfield, Shoyogi and Onal are acting as wing-backs, but very attacking wing-backs based on that first half. Proper and Sano have kept things ticking over in central midfield, with Cherry, Uwasa and Linson as a front 3 that are all quite interchangeable. Certainly has been the case in that first period, where they've taken up some really nice positions, each of them, particularly Cherry, who has been one of the stars of the show, even without his goals. Here's Pereira, who at 21 is another powerful runner, good athlete, wins it back there just ahead of Pape Gay. Here's Kretaz. Now is Sandler, escapes with the ball, and here's Cherry, who's been almost everywhere, the 37-year-old. Much travelled Jaron Cherry, played in China as well after leaving QPR back in 2017. So looping header, Hyam gets there before Proper, gets back to his feet. He's been excellent as well, Dirk Proper. Alabiosu around the corner looking for Ahashi. Still gets hold of the ball and then just taken down by Linson, who points to a teammate and says, well, you didn't give the free kick earlier on him, but those two, Ahashi and Linson, give each other a pat on the back. They've all made amends. McLaughlin slides it towards Cargbo. Down the line looking for Ribeiro. Cargbo gets it back, and there was a little bit of a shirt pull there from the Sierra Leone international, who's certainly showing glimpses in pre-season of his pace, his energy, directness as well. He will be a real useful option for Valérien Ismaël, who said his time at Rovers that Carbo's got the profile that Rovers haven't got too much of. Alabiosu gives chase against Donal, and Kretaz takes a risk but bounces off Hedges and goes behind for a goal kick. So 2-0 to NEC. And from their point of view, so far so good. They've won 4 of their 5 pre-season outings before today. And they look on course to make it 5 out of 6. A lovely day for football, weather-wise here in the east of Holland. I have to say the Dutch sides have, well, over the years, the decades, have always been known to play pretty football and knock it around really nicely, and that has been on show from NEC Nijmegen this afternoon. Here's Gay, gets on the end of that Hedges pass, and that's a loose ball across looking for Carbo. Ahashi again kind of bundles over Pereira, still not giving up the fight. Ahashi looked like he just handled there. He's still getting back to his feet. Hedges, a bit scruffy, but Rovers still have the ball. Carbo looks to try and dig something out, and he does just that. And he gets Rovers back into this game with a lovely finish beyond Kretaz, who ended up diving to his left-hand side. But there's Carbo with an accurate finish into the corner. Boy, Rovers needed that. And Carbo comes on and makes an instant impression. Just 7 minutes after entering the action at half-time as a substitute. It was scruffy to start with, but the finish pretty devastating. Used the defender as a bit of a shield and then just bent it beyond. I think it was Sadler and then beyond Kretaz. Lifeline for Rovers. Haven't been many chances from the visitors in this game, but they've taken one of them. 52 minutes on the clock. It's now NEC Nijmegen 2, Rovers 1. And that will please Valerian Ishmael. He'll be a lot happier with the way Rovers have started this second period. What have Nijmegen got in response? Dart inside by the dangerous Uwasa. Now here's Ahashi. Is he going to try and send Carbo free? He is, and he's up against Jaron Cherry, who's got pace, but his best days at 37 behind him. Carbo gets into the box. Now he's going to try and pick someone out, and it's a block in the end by Philip Sadler at the near post. Puts it behind for a corner, but Carbo, since coming on, has really had an impact with his pace, directness, explosiveness. I suppose the problem that he might have is that he could be one of these players that you bring off the bench and he makes a difference and almost turns into that super sub rather than super starter. But you've got to start somewhere, and Carbo has made an impact in this contest. Puts his arms in the air. Everyone towards that back post. High and breaks free, and now there's a few others that try and get their heads on it. Away by Sadler. Smashed clear, and it's going to go all the way through to Balázs Tot, although Onal is going to try and close down the Hungarian. Back out to Carbo. Sadler's gone and tracked him all the way. He wins out, and Pereira gets things started again. And now with the ball on this near side, goes out of play. Good spot by the match official on this near side. The goal will hopefully just breathe new life into Rovers. Loose pass there from Carbo, who apologises to Gay as he looked to pick out his good friend. Very close, those two, off the pitch. Spend a lot of time with one another. They'll hope that connection grows on the pitch this coming season. As we mentioned, in a week's time, the second half at the Hawthorns will have begun. That's when it really counts. Well, of course, you want to win every single game. Pereira just fouled there by Cargbo. Here comes Cargbo again. He skips away from Pereira and he gets in goal side. Can he pick out Pape Gay? Gay's at the back stick and he sends the shot just wide of the target. Probably should have scored if we're being honest, Pape Gay. 8 yards from goal. A nice pick out there from Cargbo. And Gay puts it wide of Kretaz's left-hand post. But Cargbo has really been a menace in this second half. Just added something in that final third, and his pace, just seeing the Nijmegen players almost back off and terrified that he might get in behind, but he's done it a few times, and now there's a cheap giveaway and Cargbo's going to go for goal from the edges. He knows he's going to try and tee up Hedges and maybe caught in two minds there, but it was Pereira who gifted the ball to a blue and white shirt. They've done it a few times actually, Nijmegen, when they've had the ball. It's almost felt as if they've been too confident on it and felt they can play their way out. And Dick Schruber will be pleased that his side are trying things and iron these things out in pre-season, but there have been opportunities for Rovers. There have been glimpses of the goal. Not taken though. But better from Rovers in the second half. Since the changes, there's been a lot more to it from the visitors. Nijmegen not having it quite all their own way, not like they were for the majority of that first period. Again, he takes a risk, Pereira. Just as this man, I think he was just tagged there. Shioge, the 20-year-old, and the referee just holds his hands out and says time for more changes, and looks as if Harry Pickering is going to be entering the action for Rovers, so he will get half an hour or so. Scott Wharton is the other. Imagine this will be McLaughlin and Ribeiro, perhaps. We will have to see. No, it's going to be Dom Hyam and Ribeiro. So I think it's just a case of balancing out the minutes. Dom, and ever-present last term in the Championship. It's going to be interesting to see how this works, because both Rovers centre halves left-footed. McLaughlin, the one to move to the right side of those central positions. Sherry just uses his strength to hold off a man proper down the line. Now, nice play from Wassa. Pereira puts it in, headed away by Travis. Ahashi looks to send Cargbo clear again, and Travis does that with a nice cushioned, volleyed pass towards the Rovers number 7. Of course, squad numbers will be released next week. Does look like 7 is going to be AK's. He's worn it all the pre-season. It is available following Arne Sigurdsson's departure in the winter transfer window, I should say. Again, it's Nijmegen escape with the ball, and it's that man Cherry on the hat-trick. He ventures towards the edge of the box and then tees up Onal, the dangerous Turk. Misses out a couple of players. Proper looks to squirm away and then sends an effort over the bar, always rising from the little midfielder. But again, a good opportunity for him. He's got to hit the target from that sort of range inside the box. And in the end, just loops it over the top of Balázs Tots upright there. Another good opportunity for the home team. Can't quite regain their 2-goal advantage. as we hit the hour mark. Just the one goal between the two sides, thanks to Augustus Cargbo's curling effort early in this second half. Flick there from Cargbo, doesn't quite look to see, and I think Hashi just turns and says to him, look up before you do things like that. Hashi to Tronstad, Travis. Tronstad wins it back for Rovers, Pickering to Cargbo. He looks to send Gay clear, and Gay is going to get there and in, almost held up there by Kretaz. Still Pape Gay, so slides it towards Cargbo, and I think he just slips at the key moment. Again, good play by the two attackers. Gay probably could have done better when he was played in by Cargbo, but then unselfish play from the Senegalese to tee up the Sierra Leonean. And yeah, he just slipped on the stretch there, Cargbo, and puts it wide of the target. Double alteration for the home side. Smattering of applause as well from the supporters. And it's going to be numbers 33 and 35 coming on. So we've got Yusri Spry and Sam Delat, who's coming on in place of Philip Sandler and Jaron Cherry. So there'll be no hat-trick for the 37-year-old, who's been excellent, you'd have to say. I think we're all quite pleased to see the back of Cherry. Sandler has done well at the heart of that back line. So two alterations for Nijmegen. Like Pereira may have gone to central defender, but then he's pushing up. It's quite interesting actually watching it from this vantage point, how they all sort of switch positions. It's like putting a puzzle together in certain aspects. But yeah, Pereira's moved to the central one of the back three that Nijmegen now are operating with. There is Uesa. Proper. Sano, the Japanese. Nice clip ball looking for Onal. And substitute Delat gets it back. His first touch. Here is Delat. Just runs that one out of play, the youngster. Reminder for those joining us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. That way, as soon as we release any footage from matches, behind the scenes content, interviews, you will be the first to be notified, and you can tune in free of charge with that. There's a Hashi sweeping pass asking Alabayosu to make a raid forward. Can't quite keep that in, the former Arsenal and KRC Kortrijk defender. He's still finding his feet, of course, after making the move to the Rovers last month. Good spell at St Mirren on loan last term, which may have been reason why Rovers scouts were alerted. There's Gay, flicked into the path of Lewis Travis, who waits for Pickering to support. Cargbo as well. Pickering continues his run, gets into the box, then clips it towards that back stick. That's meat and drink for Gay, sends it in, and I think Hashi goes to ground in the 6-yard box, nothing given. Might need a bit of treatment. Rovers Japanese international, who's now helped to his feet by Kretaz, and Hashi just limps away from the scene of the crime. Raises a hand to suggest he's okay. Again, good play, good run, and dinked cross from Pickering looking for Gay. You've got someone of Pape's size in there, you've got to try and pick him out. That's what he thrives off. Hedges, good work from him defensively to win the ball back. Alabayusu goes all the way back to Top. Sends it out towards Pickering. He's going to have to deal with this one nice and early because Wassa is giving chase. Wharton back to Top. Now Hashi dropping deep. Now Wharton. Good play this from Rovers. Cargbo facing his own goal and just taken by Sano. Hashi is going to have to take that one again. And for some reason the referee's not too happy with the urgency shown by the 29-year-old who celebrated his birthday last weekend, Yuki Hashi. Ryan Hedges through the legs of Verdonk. Tronstad to Alabayosu, who's got a bit of space to run into, and Hedges has continued his run. Onal barges him over. Hedges tries to get back to his feet, and now almost a wrestling move there to take him down, and it's going to be a free kick to Rovers. Turk on Welshman on that far side, and an opportunity for Pickering to send in a cross that maybe a McLaughlin, a Wharton or a Gay could get something on the end of. We saw Pickering's deliveries, or set piece expertise I should say, in the game against Everton. A world-class stop from Mark Travers, denying the Rovers number 3 from scoring a late goal in the clash against the Toffees, and it comes from Pickering. Nice delivery, and Kretaz, it wasn't convincing from the Spaniard, but over the top from, I think it might have been Maktar Gay. Into the final 25 minutes of this game, still 2-1 to NEC Nijmegen here in Holland, the Goffert Stadium. Just over 12,500 capacity here. Oh, it's another risky play from the defenders. Travis is in, he's going to try and send that towards the bottom corner. Good stuff from Kretaz, who spreads himself and gets a leg to prevent Lewis Travis from finding an equaliser there for Rovers. But again, it's risky business at the back from Holland. Holland, I should say, Nijmegen. Total football, maybe taking it to the extreme. Here comes Onal at the other end. Dances inside Alabayosu, and just over the top of Top's crossbar. Blink of an eye, could have been 2-2, and then it could have been 3-1. The game just becoming a little bit stretched. Good play again from Onal, only 21. One of those players that looks like he has a bright future. I've got to say, if there's some scouts watching Nijmegen today, I think there'll be a few players they'll look at and say, might have something there. Proper has particularly impressed. Sano has looked very accomplished. Onal as well. Those three players, 23, 22 and 21 years of age. This man as well, Pereira, I think has shown good glimpses. Verdonk sends that one forward, and referee's given a free kick to Nijmegen. Wassi goes to ground, and yeah, it will be an 8. Oh no, it's offside actually. I thought it might have been a free kick beforehand. Oasa just holds his arm out and says, why didn't you give me that first decision? I tend to agree with him actually. Sami Uasa. Okay, good leap from him, but he's offside. So that'll count for nothing. It'll be a good battle between him and Pereira. Pereira's certainly been game with these aerial duels and the battles. I certainly see Nijmegen's identity, the way they want to play. All look technically comfortable with the ball at their feet and under pressure. That's a good touch as well from Verdonk. Here is Sano. Checks back inside. Travis just snapping at the heels like a Jack Russell. The referee tells him to calm it down. Didn't look to be much in that. Now Carbo bundles over the substitute, Delat. Here they come again. I think since maybe the last 5 or 10 minutes they've gained a bit more control in this match. Nijmegen. Delat. Here is Uesa. Delat again gets it back, sends it across that Wharton gets a touch on. Proper waits, bides his time, looks to tee up Linson, who slips as he takes the shot. McLaughlin gets the block in. Everyone in the Rovers half apart from Kretaz. Here is that little maestro, Proper. Goes out of play, right on cue, as I say that. A vigorous warm-up just in front of the away dugout by Sydney Tavares, who I think just checks back to see whether he's going to get 7 minutes. I think struggled with an ankle injury in the last few weeks. A man who was playing in the Portuguese top flight last season. Nice touch there from Gay. Good strength to hold off his man and then set a Hashi free, who waits for Alabayusu to gallop down this right-hand side. Here is Ryan Alabayusu. Good ball in. Gay looking for the bicycle kick. In fact, it's Sano who gets there first, and now here comes Uesa, who escapes the attentions of Pickering and continues going. There's Travis trying to cynically bring down Uesa, who continues his run. He now faces up Wharton. Darts inside. This will be a wonderful goal if he can score it. Tees up Proper, and now is Seko, gets to the edge of the box and sends in the strike that finds the bottom corner. And that 2-goal advantage has been restored, and it's Shioga actually who came in off that left side and got a touch, unleashed an effort that flew past Spanish Tot and into the bottom corner. Tot went full stretch, but he couldn't keep out the effort from Kento Shioga. Really, really good finish, and it all stemmed from that run from Uasa, who just danced past the challengers. He ate up the ground, ventured forward, and with 18 minutes remaining, it's now NEC Nijmegen 3, Rovers 1. That could be the clincher. We'll have to wait and see, but they're looking pretty at the moment, the Dutch side. Going to come forward again. Top scrambling. Wharton finds Travis. Rovers just having to try and steady things at the moment. Here they come again. Delat cross to Onal. There's Linson who takes a shot, and again it's not called into action. They're smelling blood at the moment, it feels, NEC. Flying Dutchmen at this moment in time, they want to add a bit more gloss to this scoreline. Here comes Onal, who's going to try and send a shot towards goal. Cannons off Wharton, who throws his body at that one. It bounces behind for a corner kick that Delat is trotting over to take on that far side. I'm sure the NEC supporters will have really enjoyed what their side has delivered so far in this game. Rovers are going to see Sydney Tavares and Lorenz Malarkey-Matthews come on for the final 15 minutes here. So a double change from Valerian Ismail. Where's it going to be after this corner's taken? There's going to be a change as well for Nijmegen, because
En met nummer 27 komt ook iemand in het veld, maar die staat bij mij niet.
Youssef Al-Kachati is going to be coming on, and Sondra Tronstad comes off the pitch to be replaced by Lorenz Malaki-Matthews, and Ryan Hedges is withdrawn to allow Sydney Tavares to enter the action. First Rovers outing for Sydney. In it comes, outswinger, heading towards goal and comes off McLaughlin. Top bounces to get hold of that one. Pickering, Cargbo, again he's got Pereira at his back there, doesn't give him any real time to turn and swivel. See who in fact, there's going to be a double change. I think El Kachati is ready to come on, as is Luke Nieuwenhuis, I think is how you pronounce this guy's name. Meanwhile, here comes Basar Al. And now Sami Wasai seems to have come alive, and now there's a teasing delivery right across the 6-yard box, misses everyone, including Kento Shioge at the back stick.
Dames en heren, we gaan wisselen bij NEC. Met nummer 34 komt in het veld Youssef El-Kachati. En met nummer 26 komt in het veld Luc Nieuwenhuizen.
So who is coming off for Nijmegen? My Dutch isn't up to scratch, but it looks as if Shogo's going off.
In dit geval is dat nummer 19 Kento
El Kachati.
En de man van de motie solo van de middag nummer 25, Sami Wasa.
And yeah, Sami Wasa heads off as well. I'm quite pleased to see the back of him. He has looked a real talent. Quite a few of these players have, if we're being completely honest. So into the final 13 minutes we go. Will there be something to give Rovers some hope going into the final stages here in the Netherlands? Here's Pickering. Bit of space for him to run into. Nieuwenhuis goes to close him down. Pickering looks for Gay just behind the Rovers number 9. Here's Pereira to Seko. Let's play again though. Delart to Proper. Nieuwenhuis. Verdonk. Let's play again there. Spy heads forward, plays in the substitute. Nieuwenhuis comes off. In fact, there's El Kachati has gone out for a corner kick. A couple more substitutes just warming up down there, and 2 academy graduates in, Matty Litherland and James Edmondson, hoping to get a late opportunity here. Headed away by Gay. Travis looks to send that one long towards Ahashi. Bounces off Linson. Travis, I think, just got his toe stepped on there by the experienced forward and then tries to get the game restarted and gets a booking for Sam Delart. Didn't move out of the way in time as Travis thundered that free kick into the shins of the Dutch youngster. Take two for Lewis Travis with the captain's armband round his left bicep. Top to Wharton. Ooh, no. Scruffy that. Wharton looking for McLaughlin over hit, goes out for a throw in on that far side, and El Kachati races to get the game restarted. They certainly feel as if they can get another goal or two in these final 10 minutes here. They're in command, in control. And 3-1 up. Looks as if Rovers... Oh, it's a lovely touch as well by Delart, but hacked clear in the end from the team in blue and white. Gay is going to give chase. Loses out. Pereira. Nice feet from the young French defender, taken down by Malaki Matthews, who's now going to have to race back to help out Alabayosu, who's going to be up against Onal, who looks to try and dart in on that right foot. Alabayosu does well, actually, stands up strong. Now Tavares bides his time, goes infield for McLaughlin, who uses his weaker right foot to try and hack that one clear, only as far as a green and red shirt. Here comes Sano. Neuenhuis. Sano again. Infield to Verdonk. Again, nice intricate play. Wharton. Back to Toth. Ooh, Rovers almost caught there, Hashi. And Tot comes out quickly to get there before El Kachati. Learnt a lot from today's game, Rovers. And Travis, almost a tired thump forward. Had to do a lot of chasing, a lot of the off-the-ball work that you certainly will need in the Sky Bet Championship campaign, which is now less than a week away. The big kick-off. The AFL began last night. League One with Luton Town winning against AFC Wimbledon at Kenilworth Road, which, let me tell you, was certainly not a thriller. One shot on target between those two sides, and it was an own goal that won it for the Hatters late on. Pickering looking for Cargbo, who's gone quiet after a lively start to the second period that also resulted in a goal for the number 7. Tavares just clips Neuenhuis, and it's going to be a free kick to Nijmegen, who certainly look the part. It certainly looks as if they're going to be in line for a good season ahead in the Dutch top flight. And still some big hitters, of course, in that division. The big three of PSV Eindhoven, Feyenoord, and of course Ajax. So Onal has stepped back. It looks like he fancies his chances here, and you're probably talking 30, 35 yards out. He's going to send a strike towards goal, and it clangs against the post. It was an adventurous effort from the Turk, and he almost caught out Balashtot. He maybe didn't expect Onal to go for goal from there, but it was a really powerful effort and wasn't far away. Base of the post and away from danger. Cargbo asks a lot of Gay, who gives chase, but the goalkeeper's there and spreads it out towards the left-hand side. Kretaz over to Verdonk, the Indonesian international. Here's Onal, who has been probably in the top 3 players for Nijmegen this afternoon. Alabayosu all the way back to Balashtot. And McLaughlin put under pressure from Linson. Oh, I think he might have got a bit lucky there. the Irishman. Linson puts it in the back of the net. Scoots. Here come Rovers on the attack with Alaba. Alabayosu. And this is what happens when you talk for almost an hour and a half. The mouth seizes up. 5 minutes to go though, so we haven't got long to get through. Oh, he's onside, and yeah, Tot, good starting position, sends it out to Pickering. He's put under pressure by Neuenhuis, and then just sends that one forward, and Sano is going to collect. Good play from him. He'd be in the top 3 players as well. Travis gets a touch in. Sano continues his run. Looks to find a teammate. Tavares is going to have to be alert. Nice touch there from Malarkey Matthews. Gabe bundles over Pereira, who then just stretches out his calves and gets back to his feet. Here's Verdonk. 3 to go. 3 is the magic number if you're a NEC Nijmegen fan, player or coaching staff, because they are 3-1 up and just moments away from inflicting a first defeat. First game without a win actually for Rovers in the near 5 pre-season outings of the summer of 2025. Pereira. Here he is again, the Frenchman. Gets it back, they're knocking it around with confidence. Looking really comfortable. Dick Schruger's side. Back in Holland, actually, the 53-year-old Dutchman after a spell in Spain as manager. Here is Neuenhuis, puts it across, Pickering gets the block in, and it will be another corner kick for the home team, who'll hope it'll be a good year in what will be their 125th year in existence. Nice stadium as well, nestled neatly amongst some woodland. The back of the stand we're situated in here. Nice play again on Al, has just gone offside. There was a little tug back there from Cargbo, and the ball gets put in the net by Sano, but yeah, offside against Anal. We might be seeing more of him in some major tournaments in years to come. Turkish under-21 international. Tavares. And Travis. Top to Wharton and Tavares. Intriguing to see how many of the starting 11 this afternoon begin the clash at the Hawthorns in a week's time. I'm sure Valerian Ismail will have a 11 in mind. Gay looks to rob Pereira and then falls over as Pereira comes back with the ball. Gay just looks like he's holding his his Achilles on his left heel, his ankle, and then he's looking up and waiting for the game to stop. It doesn't, and he gets back to his feet hobbling. El Kachati gives chase, and Tot emerges with the ball in his grasp. Into the final minute now. Referee's just had a quick look at his watch. Tot launches it long. He's going to find nobody apart from a green and red shirt. Will there be a crowning moment for Nijmegen? Not got too much time to get it if they do. Rovers just forcing them back, but again, nice play. In fact, Linson's got in behind. It's a really good run. Tot is going to come out, head that one clear of danger and put it out of play for a throw in to Nijmegen, who rushed to get the game started again. Linson has really impressed me, the 34-year-old. Good energy about him, intelligence. Almost feels a little bit Andy Weimann-esque the way he's performed today. Labayosu looks to put it behind for Donk. That might just be that. We've got 20 seconds to go. It's going to be a throw into Nijmegen just inside their own half. Oh no, the game's continuing actually. Thought we went out of play on that far side. Clearly not. Here is Pereira. Game still going on with Tavares with his yellow boots. In fact, it's not going to go on for much longer because the match official blows the full-time whistle and blows full-time on Rovers' pre-season schedule. Wasn't to be in Game 5 of the summer for Valerian Ismail's men. The 4-game winning streak comes to an end here in Holland as NEC Nijmegen run out 3-1 winners. Jaron Cherry with a first-half brace, although Augustus Cargbo did pull one back. In the end, Chiogo made it game safe late on with a really strong finish after a great run from the impressive Uasa. So the real stuff begins in a week's time. Thank you very much for joining us on YouTube this afternoon. Back to England and back to business in a week's time when Rovers head to the Hawthorns to take on West Bromwich Albion. You can join us on Rovers TV for live commentary of that contest. But from here in Netherlands, final score here finishes NEC Nijmegen 3, Rovers 1.